Manipulation can be hard to spot. It doesn't come with clear warning signs, and instead, it can creep into your relationships, disguised as friendly advice or support. The worst part is that manipulation often involves people we deeply care for, making it even more challenging to recognize. Let's explore indicators that a friend might be manipulating you. Number 10. Everything revolves around them, like you're a side character. You may start to notice that every conversation seems to revolve around them, like they are the sun in your solar system, and you're just a distant planet. According to findings from the Survey Center on American Life, nearly 49% of individuals reported having fewer than 3 close friends, and this reduction in meaningful connections can lead people to cling more strongly to those relationships they do have, even if they're toxic. Manipulators often dominate conversations to make sure they remain at the center of attention, using their friends more as an audience than as equals. This behavior isn't just self-centered, it's an intentional effort to overshadow others, effectively making their needs and achievements seem irrelevant. Number 9. Guilt trips that could win an Oscar. If your friend has the uncanny ability to make you feel guilty for simply living your life, this is a major red flag. According to data from the American Psychological Association, guilt is one of the most common tools used by manipulative individuals. A survey conducted by the APA showed that people who frequently experience guilt in friendships are more likely to report feelings of anxiety and depression. These friends may say things like, "I guess I shouldn't expect you to care," when you can't accommodate their plans. Over time, this kind of behavior chips away at your emotional health, creating an unequal dynamic where you feel responsible for their happiness, which should never be the case in a healthy friendship. Number 8. The favors exchange rate is always in their favor. A manipulative friend loves to keep you indebted. They'll be quick to ask you for help, but conveniently forget when it's their turn to return the favor. Data from Pew Research Center's Friendship Survey revealed that 53% of Americans reported feeling unsatisfied with friendships that lacked reciprocity. This imbalance of give and take often leaves one party feeling drained, while the other benefits without contributing equally. Manipulators make sure the balance of favors is always skewed in their direction, ensuring they hold the power while you end up exhausted and overextended. It's a subtle way of reinforcing their dominance in the friendship, as the indebted friend often feels compelled to stay loyal and keep giving, hoping for eventual reciprocation that never comes. Number 7. Backhanded compliments are their specialty. Wow, you're actually good at this. If you've heard comments like this from a friend, chances are they're not just joking. They're trying to undermine you. The Survey Center on American Life reported that 41% of women have experienced backhanded compliments from friends, often disguised as humor or constructive criticism. This type of behavior is a deliberate attempt to chip away at your confidence, making you feel inadequate while pretending to be supportive. Psychologists note that such tactics are used by manipulators to ensure their friends stay reliant on them for validation, thus maintaining a power imbalance. By undermining your self-worth, they subtly position themselves as superior, ensuring that you're always left second-guessing your abilities and seeking their approval. Number 6. They make you feel responsible for their feelings. Manipulative friends often transfer responsibility for their feelings onto you, creating a scenario where you're always on edge, trying not to upset them. This tactic, known as emotional dumping, is well documented in social psychology studies, which found that 60% of participants had experienced a friend placing the burden of their emotional state onto them. When friends make statements like, "I was really counting on you," "You've really let me down," they turn their personal issues into your fault. Over time, this drains your energy, leaving you feeling responsible for keeping them happy, a position that's both unfair and emotionally exhausting. Number 5. They use conditional friendliness. Does your friend's warmth come with strings attached? Conditional friendliness, being nice only when they need something from you, is a major sign of manipulation. According to Pew Research, there has been an increase in people feeling they have situational friendships, with nearly 69% reporting that their friends only engage with them under specific circumstances. Manipulators treat you well when they need a favor, but as soon as you're no longer useful, they become dismissive or distant. This isn't just about being moody, it's about power. They use friendliness as a currency, giving it out when they need something in return and withdrawing it when you're of no use to them. This kind of friendship fosters insecurity, making you feel like you have to earn their approval constantly. Number 4. Passive-aggressiveness level. If your friend prefers snide comments and the silent treatment over direct confrontation, it's a classic sign of passive-aggressive manipulation. The Pew Research Center found that 38% of Americans cited passive-aggressive behavior as a major source of conflict in their friendships. Such friends avoid direct communication because it keeps you confused and off balance, which is exactly where they want you. Instead of addressing issues head-on, they choose sarcasm or give the cold shoulder, leaving you in the dark. This behavior creates an environment where you constantly question what went wrong, burdening you with the responsibility of fixing issues you may not have caused. Over time, this confusion can lead to increased anxiety and self-doubt, reinforcing their emotional control over you. Number 3. They play the victim card like it's poker night. Manipulative friends love to play the victim, turning every situation into an example of how they've been wronged, even when it's clearly not your fault. According to data from the American Psychological Association, 67% of people in toxic friendships reported that their friends often played the victim to manipulate them. This tactic allows the manipulator to divert attention away from their behavior and makes you feel responsible for their problems. Victim playing is a powerful control tactic that turns the tables emotionally, ensuring that they can count on you to fix things. Research also highlights that those exposed to constant victimization from friends are more likely to experience heightened stress and anxiety, which ultimately leads to emotional exhaustion and poor self-esteem. Number 2. They use secrets as leverage. A true friend keeps your secrets safe, but a manipulator keeps them as leverage to control you. A study on interpersonal relationships found that 53% of people who've had experienced toxic friendships felt their personal information had been used against them at some point. This kind of emotional blackmail keeps you in a constant state of fear, as you worry about what they might do if you stand up to them or try to walk away. This fear isn't only about embarrassment. It can also affect professional life or family dynamics, especially if the manipulator threatens to reveal sensitive details. Emotional coercion like this destroys trust and forces you into a cycle where you're more likely to comply with their demands to protect your privacy, ultimately sacrificing your own well-being for their satisfaction. Number 1. You're always second-guessing yourself. Perhaps the most damaging effect of manipulation is self-doubt. Manipulative friends are masters of gaslighting, a form of psychological manipulation designed to make you question your reality. According to data from the Survey Center on American Life, 70% of respondents who had experienced toxic friendships reported regular feelings of self-doubt because of how their friends treated them. This tactic is often subtle. They might dismiss your feelings or suggest that you're overreacting to legitimate concerns. And that wraps up our video to recognizing when you're being manipulated by a friend, or should I say, your part-time emotional puppeteer. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Because let's face it, there's a lot more shady stuff out there we need to talk about. See you next time.